then, I just have one question, gentlemen, about whatever the blank that was in the Superdome. And the question that I have in mind says this.
What in the all types of blue hell
was that?
No clue.
I got a better question. Where the hell was that offense in the fourth quarter that KC had prior to that?
Where shut down.
They had 23 yards in the first half.
23 yards. 20. I think that's the lowest in the first half in Super Bowl history. I would like to think it is.
It is.
That confirmed? Okay. We're going to talk about a lot of records today, but let's just reflect as we get started on the Eagles. I said this about the Cowboys heading into the 1992 NFC Championship game against the 49ers, that the Cowboys had to play a perfect game to beat them. I came in with the same opinion last night, and the Eagles decided to shut me up. They played an absolutely flawless game last night.
It was a gem.
I mean, running game wasn't exactly there. Barkley had, I believe, 50-odd yards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs did the right thing of being able to stop the run. The problem is you had to stop it on two fronts because Jalen Hurts can motor too.
Yeah, Jalen had 11 carries, 72 yards. Barkley was 25 for 57.
I mean, they geared up to stop. The Chiefs geared up to stop Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
But the secret weapon, I think, was Barkley being a decoy last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
When Barkley became the decoy, Jalen Hurts beat Kansas City just about single-handedly.
Yep.
Yeah, and if it wasn't Jalen Hurts doing it, it was the Philadelphia defense because they had zero blitzes last night. They just brought the front four, and they got Mahomes
6 times. They got home.
Including
that's the kind of defense. And they also caused a fumble. They did. They caused Pat to throw 2 interceptions. I think they took the ball away 3 times or 4 times. 3 times. It took 3 turnovers last. They forced 3 turnovers last night.
2 picks and a
fumble loss.
And one of them
they turned it into 17 points.
Yep. The Chiefs had the first turnover. They couldn't do anything with it.
And did nothing with it. They did absolutely nothing with it.
Now, here's the thing. Neither team was efficient on third down. 3 of 11 for KC, 3 for 12 for Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one did jack on fourth. Both went 0-1.
Mm-hmm.
But Philadelphia ran 70 plays.
Yep.
And the majority of that was in Kansas City territory.
In KC territory.
It wasn't until after a long bomb that the Chiefs got their first drive in Eagle territory. And that's crazy to say.
And that was in the third quarter.
One of the most beautiful stats that I saw last night was the fact that at one point in time, Kansas City ran 10 plays.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia had 10 first downs.
Yeah.
Think about that, folks. Let that marinate for a minute. How did my buddy Frank put it? Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. 10 total plays for Kansas City. 10 first downs for Philadelphia.
Philly ended with 21 on the game, while KC only had 12.
And it led to the second largest halftime lead. Now, remember the last time these two teams played, Philadelphia led by 10. In fact, memory serves correctly, and that's why I got Shane here, because I'm getting old, and y'all can fact check this for me. I believe Philadelphia scored the exact same number of points in the first half in Super Bowl 59 that they did in 57, and that lucky number was 24.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that's right, because they led 24-14 in Super Bowl 57, and then Kansas City became Kansas City.
Yeah, and then
so I did get that.
Yeah, you did. You got that.
My brain's not so fried after all. The exact same number of points. The difference is 24-14 gave Kansas City a chance. 24-0 buried them.
Yeah.
There was no momentum for Kansas City.
There's nothing to build off of
in the second half.
No, I mean, we knew that Philadelphia could do this because look what the hell they did to Washington.
55 points.
And that was in horrible conditions.
And then you get to the Superdome. And then that happens.
Yeah, they put up a 40 piece.
A 40 piece in the Super Bowl. Love it. I love it. I'll gladly say when we did our breakdown, I called for a close game with Kansas City winning. And I incorrectly, I'm looking in this camera, y'all, incorrectly thought Jalen Hurts would not be a factor. To borrow from legendary comedian Ron White, and y'all know where I'm going, that's profiling. And profiling is wrong. I was dead wrong, and I salute the Philadelphia Eagles on a very masterful performance last night.
You know our friend Deb is celebrating the hell out of this right about now.
I'm getting her on. You know I'm getting her on this week. Today's her travel day. Then she's gonna have some alone time with her family. I think Friday, this coming week, I'll be able to get her on. I'll have to check the schedule.
Deb is happy. You know, my man Cool Breeze McCain is happy.
Cool is celebrating the hell out of this one.
Listen, I texted Cool McCain and Deb Whitkus right after the game. I sent them the hashtag Fly Eagles Fly and congratulations on the Eagles being the world champions. And both of them said they appreciate it. Well, Cool McCain and Deb Whitkus, I appreciate y'all for being in our little circle. We appreciate you. Had a chance to get Deb on yesterday before the pregame show, and my voice is shot to hell. In case you can't tell,
we're all a little bit reeling after this.
You know what the best part of the Super Bowl for me was last night?
What's that?
The commercial
first half.
Yeah, the beatdown that we saw.
Not just that, my wife was with me.
Yep. Dr. K
Jody was off the hook last night.
Yeah, she was.
And the crowd, I told Jody last night before I came to bed, I said, baby, you were a hit tonight. Meaning last night. I said, baby, you were a hit. And she blushes a little and she says, come on. I said, I'm serious. You had us cracking up laughing last night. And she's just busted out laughing. I got to get a better setup for the next time she comes on with me. And believe me, there will be a next time.
Next year, y'all going to be doing more Colts games together.
Yep. And next year, we're doing this ish live in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But Philadelphia had a master plan last night. And to re-illustrate your point, Shane, the front four did all the dirty work.
Yeah.
For Philadelphia.
And we had talked.
Did all the dirty work.
And we had talked on No Credentials Acquired. I talked with Ryan and Dustin and Cole, and those guys were absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to do it again with them. But they were talking about, some of the blitzes that the Eagles do. And I was expecting that there were going to be some blitzes, but I did not expect them to not need them.
They didn't need them. Kansas City's offensive line was a sieve.
And this is the thing that kills me is like, where was Pacheco? Where was Kareem Hunt? Like, you guys have been known to run the football, and you didn't run the football. You are a one-dimension team almost all the way through.
Almost immediately. Immediately. The first 5 plays for Kansas City were all pass plays.
Yeah.
The first 5 plays, that's when you know that the Chiefs are in trouble.
Yeah.
Their first 5 plays were pass plays, and they couldn't do nothing with it.
That's bad. That is bad. They're all pass plays, no runs to be found. And it basically really hurt Patrick because Patrick now had to make decisions under duress.
Yep. Philadelphia shut down Kansas City's offense from minute 1.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
They shut and what shut them down, what really shut them down the most, Chris Williams is in the house with us. saying Bird Gang, Philly Baller, thanks for joining. Boss Team was the first one in. Thomas O'Boyle, our good buddy at Zebo Network. He's an Eagles fan. Hashtag Fly Eagles Fly. And the Rising Rhino is in the house with us as we take a visit into the Fanatics feedback zone. Listen, what set the table for me was when Philadelphia knocked Kansas City in the mouth and kicked them in the ass on the first drive of the game.
Yeah.
They marched, including a fourth down conversion. 4th and 2, Philly said, screw it. They knocked Kansas City backwards. On that first drive, they knocked, thanks to my grandchildren, Kansas City backwards.
Yep. And there was no answer. There was no answer afterwards. There was no answer.
They snatched their soul, as Shane loves to say.
Yep.
Philadelphia snatched Kansas City's soul and stomped on it and everything else, and had no intention of giving it back.
It's like you said. It's like you said last night. They stomped a mud hole in that behind and walked it all the way bone dry.
They stomped a mud hole in that ass and walked it all the way dry and left nothing to chance.
You mean it was one of these?
Yep.
And now the AFC East is laughing.
Yeah, they are.
NFC East is laughing their ass off.
The AFC East, the entire AFC is laughing their ass off.
Yep. Because everybody thought it was going to be Kansas City and everybody else.
Especially after they went basically almost perfect. They only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
And one game they weren't even trying to win.
Yep. They weren't even trying to win the last game of the season. They had to beat off. They beat both teams they needed to in Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl, and then Philadelphia showed up as the big Mike Tyson bully and knocked them out. That first drive set the table. How many times have I said, gentlemen, that the first drive of any big game, division, conference championship, or championship sets the table?
Sets the tone.
Now, here's the thing that Fox brought up, and this is going to be pretty huge, in my opinion, when it comes down to the story of this game. As we know, Philadelphia going into this was 17-2.
Right.
12 of their wins were comebacks and one possession games.
This wasn't.
This was not.
That tells you everything. If you can get ahead of, if you could have gotten ahead of Kansas City early,
if you boat race them in early.
And that's exactly what. And that's exactly.
This reminded me of what Ohio State did to Oregon.
Yep.
Yeah.
On New
when
Year's
Ohio
Day.
State came out completely pissed.
They were pissed.
And they
off.
hung 34 on Oregon in the first half.
Listen, Philadelphia did not play scared, unlike 2 years ago in the second half.
I'm gonna hurt myself saying this, but just think of week 5 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because after the 49ers hung on the Cowboys, there was nothing. You could tell that there was just no more energy.
That first drive of the game.
It deflated.
Brock Purdy and company marched right downfield and punched him in the mouth.
And there was nothing we could do about it.
No.
I go back to 2011 in the 2010, I beg your pardon, January 2011 in the NFC champion in the NFC Championship. Bears hosted Green Bay at Soldier Field with a chance to make a statement. Aaron Rodgers said, "Wait, give me this button here. I want to do it right. I want to do it right, especially with our radio networks coming back into tow." Aaron Rodgers said, "She," and marched him right downfield in 7 plays. Which is exactly what Philadelphia did last night. 7 plays, 70 yards, and pow!
Right.
And they stood over them and looked at them and said, "You ain't getting up."
Nope.
Look at how many times that man in the booth did it while wearing our blue and silver.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come on.
You don't have to tell me twice. Let's take a break. When we come back, an ode to Jalen Hurts. Because I was wrong, according to Droid and my wife and Shane and everybody, yet again. But you know something? With a smile on my face, I'll gladly take this. Why? So long as my Blackhawks didn't lose to Tuukka Rask. I knew that would get him laughing.
Jackass.
Back at hey, you threw shots at